Hey guys, this is our final interview from a really long day of the first day of CEVO Season 8 finals at the MLG Arena, and I was able to track down Pimp at the hotel. So we're going to just sort of begin with your win against Liquid, a very convincing win. Did you guys prepare for that? And also, did you have to readjust your strategy in the middle of the game?
We didn't really prepare for it. We watched some demos yesterday night, but we didn't spend a lot of time on it. We've scrimmed them a few times when they were boot camping for the major qualifier, so we kind of knew what maps we wanted to play against them and what we thought they would be weak on or less good on. So we had an idea, but we didn't go into hardcore preparing for them. Like we felt before the game that it's a game that we should win at least. Maybe not 2-0, but at least it's a game that we should have a good chance of winning. So. And again, without going too much out of context, we just brought in Tensky, so we are kind of focusing on our own game and learning ourselves to play with him instead of focusing too much on who we play. So we didn't spend that much time preparing on Team Liquid. In the match, we didn't really change anything. We played our game and it worked. On train, it worked perfectly. On couple, it worked some of the time, and eventually it was enough to actually win the game. So we didn't have to change anything during the games, actually. So that was quite nice.
Is there a certain player on Liquid that you guys looked out for? Because they have a lot of explosive players, and that's something that's always a danger with North American teams.
I don't think so. They have Higo, of course. He's a great and a known player, but I think their star is Elish and Nitro. It's always when I played against them and watched them play, it's always those two that actually comes up big and make the huge impact for X. And a player like Adrian too is also a great player. I think they're very well-rounded team. All of them can play good, and all of them can bring something to the table. So as a team like that is hard to prepare. It's hard to compare Liquid with Fnatic, for example, but because it's not the same level, of course. But Fnatic also have 5 players that can bring something into each round, and I think Liquid have the same, just on a lower skill level, basically.
Interesting that you mentioned well-roundedness, and you kind of already talked about this, but how's it going trying to establish a well-rounded team within your own team? And yeah, you mentioned Tensky bringing him in, but how are efforts to kind of build team cohesion?
Yeah, we're trying. I think the composition of lineup we have right now with Tensky and me playing the AVP is going okay. We always try when we bring in new players and when we form a team to think about the roles we have in the team and what role can Tensky play and what is he good at and what do we want him to actually play, and that's how we pick the new player. We don't necessarily pick the best player or the guy who kills the most, which is a reason why we, for example, didn't bring in Config as many people questioned. We thought that Tensky was the best option and he could play the roles that we wanted him to play the best, which is why we brought him in. So we're trying to be well-rounded team as well, and so far it's been going decent.
I just want to briefly look back on Cluj. The decider game you lost to CLG and it was close. We mentioned that North American teams are sort of they rely on these star players. Is that something that, especially on Kabul, right? It was on Kabul. Yeah. Is that something that North American teams excel on Kabul? And is there something you have to watch out for in particular?
I don't think so. The CLG game was more. Of course, it's gonna sound cheesy, but it was more us losing that game than them winning. I felt, at least. They were playing good, of course. If they didn't, they wouldn't have won. But I think we were fighting ourselves in that game, and we could really feel that the pressure was on. And Tensky, we've only had him for 7 days, and we only had 3 days to practice with him. And we've only played couple, I think 1 or 2 times in practice before that event. So going in on a map against a strong team like CLG with a player that we barely have played the map with is always hard. So we were more fighting ourselves and not really worrying about who we played. And eventually they won the game, and we made too many mistakes, and that's how it is. I don't think that's something we actually put any thought into. It's all about ourselves right now.
Okay, so in that sense, talking about playing VP tomorrow, it's all going to be all about yourselves. You're not going to prepare something crazy?
No, there's no time, but I'm going to go off sleep in just a minute, so we're just going to take it as it. We feel comfortable playing against VP. Their way of playing is a way that always suited us well, especially when we played with Nico, so hopefully it still is. And we kind of know VP is a team that plays a lot of tournaments and always are on the move, so there's a lot in our back minds that we can rely on. So we're not gonna watch any recent demos. We're just gonna figure out how to play against them tomorrow.
And after this event, any plans for the future? I mean, you guys won't be at San Jose, but And I'm not sure if you'll be at FACE. I haven't seen the leagues. Okay, no, I cry. But so any plans for the rest of the year?
Not LAN-wise. Right now we have the ESL ECA Pro League, and we can still qualify for LAN finals. It looks hard. I think we have to beat both Envious, Virtus Pro, and NIP in the race for the 4th place. I think we are currently 5th or something like that, so it's still possible. So we actually could be going to America later this month or next month. But apart from that, we don't have anything planned. We have StarLadder online, and we have a Game Show League, I think it's called. We have some online stuff where we are trying to qualify for some LANs for next year. But LAN-wise, this could potentially be our last LAN in 2015.
And I actually just have a personal question for you. People have noticed that you've kind of undergone like a fitness transformation. I even saw you in the gym.
Yeah.
Is it hard to, because I've heard of like other people who are really into fitness and go to LANs. Is it kind of hard to keep up that schedule of like being fit and, you know, because LAN life takes a lot out of you?
Yeah, it really is. It's especially hard. You also want to like eat somehow healthy, or at least eat okay. And especially here in the States, it's really hard to find. Like, I haven't seen one place where you actually could get a nice salad or a sandwich or something like that. It's all burgers and pizzas and all that kind of stuff. So it is hard. And as you say, like we're on the move all the time, and we play all the time. And when we don't play, we usually watch demos and do stuff like that. So it's hard, but the way I do it is just I go up a few hours before everyone else. And I, like this morning, I went, took some breakfast, and then went to the gym after, and people were still sleeping on my team. So I kind of like use the time I have. Instead of sleeping 2 extra hours, I maybe go up before the others, and then do what I want to, and then I still do the demo watching and all that kind of stuff with the other guys. So you just have to work it out, like if you really want to. So it can be hard, and it is like you get tired from it, but you just have to work with what you have, basically.
Yeah, you're right. Awesome. And is there anyone that you want to just thank or shout out or anything like that just before we close?
Sure. No, of course, Team Dignitas for providing us with all the awesome gear that we have and all the awesome support. All their sponsors. I'm not going to mention them. You can look them up on Dignitas homepage if you want to. But everyone who's basically supporting us. And so far, it's been great here in America. We have already signed some autograph, and people have stopped us in the mall and the kind of stuff. It's awesome. So continue doing that, and it'll be fine. And we're happy to stay here.
Yeah, I think I saw that MSL was in love with it. He tweeted something like,
Yeah.
I love the USA. All right, well, guys, this is our final interview from the first day, but we're going to try to catch every single team and also the important people and winning teams as we go into the semifinals. Hopefully you guys. So just stick around and check out more videos on HLTV's YouTube page.